So in this video, you will be learning another illustration about how to deal with 2 years account, two or more than years account. So in the previous classes, we have learned how the treatment is done. So the only adjustment what you have to do in this regard is that you have to brought down the work in progress of the previous year to the current year. That is what we have to do. And if there is any other stock of materials or any stock of plant, that any plant value, that also must be transferred to the next year. So that is the only adjustment. Other than that, whatever you have done in the previous contract account, that itself you have to do in this case of 2 years account. Only you will brought down the work in progress value, planned value, closing stocks planned value, closing stock and closing value of plant. That will be brought down to the next year review. So we can see another illustration. So in this illustration, you can see you are given 3 years. The contract started from 2012 to 2014. So 3 years are given. And in the beginning they have told 40 lakh is the contract price. For each year they have specifically given the work certified amount, work uncertified, the expenses are given. And you can see plan costing rupees 1 lakh was brought in the beginning and depreciation was charged at 25% per annum under fixed installment. So every year they are charging a same amount. So 1 lakh's 25% will be 25,000. So every year they will be charging it as a fixed installment. And the contract was to pay 80% of work certified every year, settle the account in 2014. So you can see that here it is told that the contract was to pay 80% of the work certified. In the previous questions all they usually asked us how to, they usually say that 80% of the cash received, cash paid they have told. But in this question they are telling that cash received is 80% of work certified. So here we have to calculate the cash received amount and settle the account and draw contract account and contractees account for 3 years. So that is what is asked in the question. So let's move on. So there is nothing big adjustments over here. You have to prepare every year and it is told that by 2015 the account is going to be closed. So that is the things we have to consider. So let's start to do the solution. So when we brought down both the debit side and credit side, first we are mentioning out the 2012 values. So if you take 2012, you can see first we have taken, let's see once again the question. So you can see materials 4 lakh 50, that is an expense, wages 4 lakh 30, that is an expense, carriage 20,000 is an expense 20,000. So all these items must come in the debit side. So you can see 2 material 4 lakh 50, 2 wages 4 lakh 30, 2 carriages 20,000, 2 expenses 20,000. So I have brought down all the expenses. Then you can see in the question it is mentioned that there is a planned costing 1 lakh. So what we have told regarding the plan, we have to write the opening value and closing value. So when we write down the opening value, it must be in the debit side, planned 1 lakh. Then other than that, nothing is there in the debit side. So moving to the credit side, let's see the first item, that is work in progress. So since the question is giving the work certified and work uncertified, you can see 9 lakh and 10,000. Both are given in the question. So directly you can note it down. 9 lakh and 10 lakh. Total work in progress is 9 lakh 10,000. Planned on hand, as is told, 25% is the depreciation value as a fixed installment basis. So 25,000 is deducted. 75,000 is the planned closing value. So all the transactions in the question has been considered. In nothing is left. So we can move to calculate the profit element. So when we calculate the profit element, you can see that the debit side is higher. We have 10 lakh 20,000 the debit side. So obviously it is what? It is loss for this year's contract account. Since it is a loss, you know directly the entire amount is shown in the credit side as loss. So profit and loss account, loss 35,000 is shown. Since it is a loss, no amount need to be transferred to reserve. Entire amount must be transferred to the plant account, so to the contract account. To the P&L account, entire amount must be transferred to the P&L account. Nothing amount will be kept as reserve. So now we have completed 2012 account. Now let's move on to 2013's account. In 2013, you can see that we have to brought down the previous year's contract account. So when we see the previous year, we can see that the previous year is we have these balancing values over here. This 9,10,000 is there, planned on hand 75,000. These two must be brought down to the next year. So when you see this, you can see that 2013 work in progress 90,000 and 10,000, that is brought down, and we have the planned value brought down. Since no reserve was there in the 2012 account, nothing is deducted. So directly we have taken down all the values over there. Then we have to take the 2013 values. So if you see the 2013 bill, we have material 7 lakh, wages 6 lakh, carriage 60,000, expenses 50,000, work certified is 30 lakh, and work uncertified is 50,000. Same expenses. So let's see how it is done. So 7 lakh, material is 7 lakh, wages 6 lakh, carriage 60,000, expenses 50,000. And since all the items are mentioned over here, we move on to the next item, work in progress. Work in progress we have 30 lakh. Then work uncertified is 50,000. Since we have written down the planned value, we have what we have done in the previous way. 75,000 opening value is mentioned. We have taken the work certified. Now we can write down the planned closing value 50,000. So that process is done. So now we have got 31 lakh in the credit side. So there is notional profit. So we have calculated 7 lakh 5,000. Now we have to take it, brought it down to the credit side. We have brought it down. Now we have to calculate the amount of reserve value. For that we have to prepare the working note. So in the working note, first we have to see the percentage of completion. So percentage of completion is work certified divided by contract price. Since these values are given, you can just directly substitute it, and you get 75% as the work certified. Percentage of completion. So once you get the percentage of completion, now we can calculate the reserve value. Since the percentage of 75%, profit to be transferred will be, the formula will be in the case of the third category, that is 50 to 90%. So the formula is notional profit into 2/3 into cash received divided by work certified. But in this case, you can see that cash received is not mentioned. They have told it is 80% of the work certified. So for this year, the work certified is 30 lakh. So the 30 lakhs, 80% will be 24 lakh. So you just need to now substitute the values 24 lakh divided by 30,000. Then you get the value as 3 lakh 76,000. So here what we have done extra is that we have needed to calculate the cash receipt. Since it is given directly in the question, either you can take it as 80% itself, or you can find out the value like this. 80% of work certified is 24 lakh, then substitute the values and do what we have done in the usual manner. So we have got the amount to be credited as profit is 3 lakh 76,000. So from this 3,76,000, when we deduct, you get the reserve value 3,29,000 is the balance amount. So this is how we prepare the 2013's account. Now there is one more account left, that is the contract account of 2014. In 2014 also, you can see in the question, we have given the basic expenses, work certified is given, work uncertified is not mentioned. So in this, it can mean that they have given it as nil value. So in some cases, if nothing information is given, it means that work uncertified is nil. So we can see how it is. We have to brought down the previous year's expenses. So bringing it down, you can see in this we have the work certified 30 lakh 50,000. 50,000 obviously the plan has to be taken over here. So by bringing down, you can see 30 lakh and we have 50,000. Since in the previous question there was a reserve value, that reserve is also deducted. So now the reserve is deducted and you get a final value of 27 lakh 21,000. From that, planned value is also taken down. We have written down all the expenses, material, wages, carriage, expenses, etc. And since this by 2014 the account is going to be completed, what we do is that we have to take the contract value. That is, the contract price is shown in this question. By 2014 the account is going to be closed. This is mentioned in the question. You can see this sentence, that is the contractee was to pay 80% of work certificate every year and settle the account in 2014. So by 2014 they are completing the account. So by 2014, I have transferred the contract price, and last year's depreciation value is also deducted, plant on hand 25,000. Now, since the account is going to be closed, nothing is to need to be transferred to reserve. So we can directly calculate the profit value 88,000. So by this, we have got the 2014 value. So if you see the illustration 17, I have explained the illustration 17, you can see that in that it is shown in a single account itself. You just need to bifurcate or divide the values by the year, or each account will be beginning by the year. Only remember that you have to brought down the values. That is, you have to bring down the previous year's work in progress, planned value and material. These items will be brought down to the next year. Other than that, what we have done in the contract account, that is itself is done. And sometimes you have to remember that sometimes work certified won't be given. It means that in that question there is no work certified. Okay, I hope this point is clear. And last, you had to prepare the contract account. And contract account, as usual, we just need to take the 80% of the work certified amounts, and you get the final value over there. For each year you finalize, and by the end of 2014 you find out the end value. So now what you have to do is that you have to work out illustration 17 of your practice problem. That will be given in your model. So you have to work out that, not illustration 17, the practice problem 17 of your practice problem of your reference material. So it is based on this illustration itself. So by this we have completed the contract account. Okay, thank you.